People, and welcome back to GavGoesIn. Big up to you guys each and every time for coming through and interacting with the channel. Big up to Lumi. Lumi says, according to Chelsea sources, Cole Palmer's unsatisfied with his tactical role for Chelsea. Certain players find Enzo Maresca arrogant. Chelsea owners are aware of concerns from the players. I mean, that's new to me. I think we've already spoken about the fact that, Enzo Maresca gave that game away for Chelsea against Man United. And as I said, if there's players that are concerned with his arrogance, that's not good. I mean, I wonder if Chelsea are looking at making a change. I don't think so, but that is concerning, to be fair. But as I said, man, Enzo Maresca showed that he was a coward in that game. Because as I said yesterday, man, the fact that he took off, three attackers, one obviously being enforced, yeah, that was ridiculous. But it is what it is. Cole Palmer's a United fan, but he wants out. Will United be able to fulfill his ambitions? Also, how would he fit in this team? I mean, yeah, I know Cole Palmer's a United fan. Obviously, Cole Palmer's from Wivenshaw. I think there was someone in the chat the other day actually said that I think he didn't go to school with Cole Palmer's dad or something like that. But yeah, listen, yeah, we all know Cole Palmer's a Man United fan. How Man United get Cole Palmer out of Chelsea is going to be, I'm going to say, near enough. I don't want to say impossible, because I don't think it's ever not impossible. But to get Cole Palmer out of Chelsea, ain't going to be easy for me. So yeah, I think it's a long shot. And I think if you do look at signing Cole Palmer, you're probably looking at about upwards of 100 million easily, So you're probably looking at a British transfer record fee to get Cole Palmer out of Chelsea right now. So do I see United doing that? I don't. So I think it's one that we have to park for the moment and hope in the future that, United are in a better place to kind of get players like that, and hope that Palmer shows a willingness to go to United as well. But I think at this moment in time, I think it's more of a optimism rather than actual facts, to be honest with you. But big up to Lumi anyway. Big up to Sham. Big up Sham each and every time. Big up to Barbara Joseph as well. And guys, as always, make sure you smash that like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new in here as well. So again, obviously the title says, guys, Ruben Amorim, well, Amad Diallo needs Ruben Amorim to be sacked and for him to fulfill his potential, guys, I will get back to your questions and comments after. So yeah, just keep them coming in. And as always, I'll discuss what I'm going to discuss. And then, yeah, if you guys want to interact with me on that, then I'll definitely get back to you guys. Yeah, listen, my day was good. Obviously, I normally do a morning stream at 11:30, which I'll be doing one tomorrow, So obviously, Man United Chelsea match preview, how both teams are going to line. Man United Chelsea, Man United versus Brentford match preview, and how I think both teams will line up, especially Man United. And as I said, yeah, so 11:30 tomorrow. Definitely be back for that one. And as I said, yeah, yeah, I've been good. I've been good. Hope you guys are doing well as well. Guys, come on, there's 19 of you in there and 6 likes. Smash the like button. Big up to Mo. And as I said, keep your questions and comments coming in, because there's a few things we got to discuss. So, as I said, guys, with Amad Diallo, I think Amad Diallo, for me, I think you guys have probably heard me say this before anyway. For me, he's probably Man United's most talented player. I think if we're looking at the most talented players, we're looking at, I think, natural ability, Kobe Mainu, Amad Diallo, Joshua Zirkzee, Matthias Cunha, and probably Mboima. I think if we're looking at those players in particular, for me, those are the players in the attacking sense that have the most about them. For me, Amad Diallo is definitely in the top 2 for me, And I think the fact that we've seen Amad Diallo sign a new contract, we've seen Amad Diallo be one of United's best players, definitely last season in a poor season. and even under, you know, Eric Ten Hag as well. You know, this is a player that had to battle for his position as well. And then obviously he come through. He showed why he should be a starter. And then Ruben Amorim obviously comes to the club and obviously goes with this 3-4-2-1 formation. Now, I think most people would know, you know, just watching Amad, the realistic position he would probably take up is either the 10 or the wing back before Amorim played his first game. Now, again, I think the problem is with what we're seeing with this system is that I think a lot of fans now have gotten used to Amad playing as a wing back, which again is just a crime to football because let's face it, yeah, this was a guy coming from Atalanta in Italy. You know, people, his own teammates were calling him, you know, they were calling him basically the Ivorian Messi. That's what they were calling him. That's how highly he was rated, you know, at Atalanta. Obviously, United parted ways with, parted ways. United signed Amad from Atalanta, I believe, for what, 40 million? And again, just watching Amad, you know, in his first game for United, you could clearly see that the guy has some special qualities, you know. And again, Amad's a number 10 for me, you know, number 10, someone that can play out wide as well. I think the fact that we have to watch, big up guys for coming through as well. The fact that we have to watch Amad, yeah, play as a wing back, you know, there should be outrage within this fan base because who would have seen a player that talented, you know? All you have to do, guys, is go and ask Sunderland fans, you know? Sunderland fans were saying he's probably the best ever player they've seen at their club, you know? And this is a club that I've had the likes of, you know, heroes like Niall Quinn, Kevin Phillips, you know, amongst other players as well, you know. And they've said that there's fans out there saying that Amad Diallo is the most talented player to play for their club, you know, in the Championship. And as we know, the Championship is a difficult league to get out of as well. And Amad was holding his own, you know, and was one of the best players in the Championship, clearly. So Man United bring him back, obviously under Eric Ten Hag. As we know, Ten Hag's not playing him. And then Ten Hag gets sacked. And the one thing I would say is that the system that Ten Hag had in play suited suited Amad a lot better, you know. And the fact now we have to see Amad as a wing back, you know, it's not only killing Amad's confidence, you know. You can clearly see that him and even like Joshua Zirkzee as well, players that don't get much game time, they're becoming disillusioned with life at Man United, and rightfully so. You know, we're hearing talk now, even though Amad has signed a new contract, we're hearing talk that, you know, he might be part of the bomb squad, which is actually crazy, you know. There's talk about Amad being moved on, like, which is just madness. Even Zirkzee, you know, Zirkzee's got interest from teams in Italy. And I think the fact that we're having to look at Amad playing out of position, you know, I like Brian Mbeumo. I think Mbeumo's a good player. But there's no way Mbeumo should be playing in a more attacking position than an Amad for me. Because this is why, for me, the system needs to be changed to get both of them in the team at the same time. You know, I think the fact that this manager as well, and you guys have probably heard me talk on it as well, the fact that this manager has the cheek to play two left-footed players in the 10. As I've already mentioned, you know, you got Amad who's playing as a left 10. He's left-footed, so he's naturally going to drift out to the left. You know, Mbeumo's a winger, so he's naturally going to come out to the right, which vacates the middle of the pitch. The fact that the manager hasn't identified that, and the fact the manager still played them two players together in the game against Chelsea, it's just showing me really that this manager doesn't really understand, you know, the players that he has, you know. And Amad hasn't been great this season. By his standards, he's been poor. He's been poor, you know what I mean? So it's one of them things for me that, you know, you guys know my views on Ruben Amorim anyway. But even more so, you know, if Amad is to succeed at this club, the manager has to be sacked because this manager's not going to change his formation, which we clearly know. And as I said, man, it's one of them things where we just need this manager out of it. because I'm just sick and tired of seeing too many quality players, which are the majority of United's best players, just not playing. You know, and as I said, man, Amad just needs to. I think Amad and Xerxes, the fact that there's talk about them leaving, which I don't believe the club are going to sanction them going, but for me, they just need to hang in there because, as I said, it's a matter of time this manager goes because he's not going to do what is possible to keep himself at this club because he's just not good enough. And when you're not playing, the right players in terms of your most technical players, first and foremost, I have a problem with that because obviously myself playing, I'm a technical player as well. And I've got a bias towards technical players. And I don't really care what anyone says. The better footballers you have in your team, the more chance you have of winning. You know, and where the manager lost me straight away is the fact that he's incapable of playing the right players. And for me, this is why it's a massive, massive issue for Manchester United. But guys, let me know what you think. Okay, I'm going through some of your questions and comments. Let me know if you think Amad needs the manager to be sacked for him to fulfill his potential. Let me know if you think that who will go first, Amad or Amrim. And the thing is, I can't actually believe I'm actually saying this because for me, there's no part of me that thinks Amad's going to leave Manchester United. But some of the reports I'm hearing, obviously there was reports that Amad, what did he do? He shut down his Instagram, his social media or something like that because of the post with Garnacho. So again, Amad's just out there for criticism now. And am I surprised? I'm not. But unfortunately, this is what football's become now. Because, a lot of fans are taking managers over players, which for someone like Amad, should never happen. I'm hearing things that like Amad's too selfish, even though I don't think he is selfish. I think, he's obviously a player that is frustrated with his game. And does Amad want to play right wing back? I think anyone that knows football will know that Amad doesn't want to play wing back. Amad's a professional, so he's just going to play the way he's going to play and get on with it. But there's no way Amad wants to be playing, at wing back for Man United when he knows the ability he possesses to be playing high up the pitch, So it's crazy. Let's go through some of your questions, guys. Big up. Yeah, funny Lumi trying to banter us. Listen, you guys have got Port Vale today, so let's see how you guys get on. Because if you guys get beat by Port Vale, listen, it's going to be interesting. Big up to Hannah Kern, says Liverpool is the best. Well, I think at the moment, you can lay claim to that. But listen, Liverpool ain't been great, but they've won every game so far this season, which is madness. But who knows? I'm a Leeds fan, but I think Liverpool will win the league. Yeah, listen, I think Liverpool have a very good chance to win the league, to be honest with you. I think I think them and Arsenal probably have the most stable team in terms of players that have been there a bit longer playing together, you would say. Them, Arsenal, and you'd possibly say City as well. But I think at the moment they're in pole position to win the league. 5 wins out of 5. And to be fair, they've not even played well. So there's not much you can ask from that. Big up to Marcel Lazars as well. So Lumi says Chelsea got lucky last night. You can see there's something not right there at the moment. Maresca's tensions rumours could be true. Yeah, listen, maybe, but I think I don't see Maresca going anywhere personally. I don't see them sacking him. I know Chelsea have sacked a few managers, but I think for me, yeah, I don't see them parting ways with him unless something major happens. I do think the next game they are under pressure. I'm not sure who they've got, but the next game they are massively under pressure, and I think if they lose that game, then who knows? I think the last 2 league games, a draw and a loss, and this next game they're gonna have to definitely, definitely do a lot better. Big up to Nubis. Nubis says, well, Anthony, probably the best player Betis fans have ever seen, but that doesn't mean he is good enough for United. I disagree. I think if we're looking at the fact that Garnacho, Rasmus Højlund, players like that got given a lot more time, I'm not really of the opinion that Anthony wasn't good enough, because technically Anthony's better than both of them, but those players were given a lot more opportunity to succeed, you know. And again, am I annoyed that Anthony's not at United no longer? I think the fact that Mbeumo come through the door, I think, you know, in this system, Anthony's days were numbered. But I'm not of the opinion that that Anthony should have gone. You know, I definitely think Anthony should have been given much more of a chance. And again, I think it's one of them things where the money he was on, as we know, how much he cost, he was always going to be under pressure, rightfully or wrong. But it is what it is, man. He's gone to Betis now, and yeah, I think he'll do well at Betis, as he showed on loan anyway. Big up to CT Jake. Big up to Z99 as well. Says, bro, you big as hell. Nah, I appreciate it, man. Just good, honest training, man. Good, honest training, you know. I'm not even sure if that's a good thing, bro. You big as hell, because that could be meaning different different ways, you know. But big up, man. Lumi says, what can you do to maximize the chance of a signing being a success? For me, buying Premier League proven players is a good idea. Yeah, I agree. I think this is why I wanted Mateta, Johan Visser, or Ivan Toney. All players that have proven that they can score goals in this league. You know, that's why I wanted them players ahead of Benjamin Sesko for me. But I think for me, Manchester United, the state they're in at the moment, they definitely need to be buying within the Premier League for me at the moment. You know, I think Carlos Baleba is a no-brainer. You know, I know some people are a bit confused at the moment as to his form. You know, again, the two left-footed central midfielders that I want, Camavinga or Carlos Baleba. You know, I know people like Angelo Stiller, but again, if we're going with Premier League proven, you know, obviously Baleba's the one for me, but then Camavinga for me is one of the best in the world. So, yeah, they're the kind of players I want to see at my club. But yeah, I do definitely think Premier League proven, you know, definitely in midfield, I would say, does need to be looked at, you know. So yeah, that's what I think Premier League proven, even the manager, Premier League manager as well. Someone that knows the demands of the Premier League, you know. So Nubis says, sorry, I lost my respect for Amad when he came to my country and disrespected United fans here by flipping middle finger and lied about my countrymen harassing him. Big up Nubis. Again, Nubis, from what I heard, you know, I'm not sure if this was 100% correct, but I heard that the reason Amad done that is because some fans were abusing his mother. Whether that's true or not, I'm not too sure, but that's some of the reports that I heard come out. Personally, you know, just looking at Amad's personality, I don't think Amad's gonna be one of those players that is just gonna put his middle finger up just because. So something would have triggered him, definitely. And you know, I look at the way that he's on the pitch. You know, he doesn't seem like someone that is a troublemaker or someone that's just gonna do things out of the ordinary. So I have to believe, really, that something would have triggered him. Whether someone abused his mother or whether that happened, again, I weren't there, so I don't know. But that's just some of the reports that I heard. So who knows, man? But as I said, I don't think Amad's that kind of person. So I'm gonna go on the side that something would have been said to Amad for him to react like that. You know. Sham says Amorim will go by the international window. If anything, he will go after Liverpool smash them later in October. But again, Sham, this is something that I just can't be bothered, man, to wait for. You know, I'm just not of the opinion to keep giving this manager game after game. You know, I think I'm still going to stick by these next two games because I think Ineos have to be serious and look at these next two these next 2 games as a way of, if the manager doesn't get 6 points, they have to think about it, because you're going to be 7 games in with Liverpool coming up. Then you've got Brighton, Liverpool, Brighton, Nottingham Forest and Tottenham. And those games there, not one of them games is a foregone conclusion that United win. So I don't want United throwing games away, if this manager ends up scraping some lucky points. I don't think that should happen. So I don't really want to wait into the international window. But then again, I can see if that is that could happen. Who knows? Big up to Daniela for coming through. Yeah, big up. Anthony had that big price tag on his head. Yeah, and I think that's what was part of the reason that he why he was forced out the club. By not by any means was Anthony, great for United when he was here, but he was a lot better than I think what people actually give him credit for. And the fact that he costs, 80 million, 200 grand a week, again, that's Man United's fault for giving him those type of wages. But he was forced out as a result because of that. So, as I said, man, I think it's just annoying that he wasn't given more of a chance, but other players that have now gone were, and you guys know who they were as well. United fan says, big up, Gav. I hope you're doing good, mate. I'm all good, man. Big up. Big up. Saki says, I got called racist today. Or maybe it's a United curse. Every player that leaves United shines. Yeah, listen, man. I think Man United actually give careers to players. So the thing is, it's hard to say if it's a United curse. I think Man United's infrastructure that they've got now, I think is better. But I think what I would say on players not succeeding at United, a lot of it has to do with the managers that have been employed. Because as you can clearly see with Eric Ten Hag and now with Ruben Amorim, these guys don't rate football players. And it's a surprise to me, really, because I thought these two managers, in the sense of how Ajax play and in the sense of how I thought Amorim was, I thought they would like, your technical players. But these guys just don't like your technical players. And as I said, there's a reason why a lot of the technical players fail here, because they're not given the same excuses or the same chances that other players that are less technical but probably work harder are given. And that's always been a problem at this club, unfortunately. So yeah, it's just one of them things, unfortunately, United fan says, my dream is to become a manager of football one day. Hopefully I can bring our club back. Listen, man, if that's a dream, I mean, I'm not sure what you're doing at the moment to realize that dream. But one thing I would say, nothing's impossible to do if you put your mind to it, and that's as simple as that. Nothing's impossible, man. Saki says McTominay was a scapegoat. I disagree with that. I don't think he was a scapegoat. I think McTominay, was part of what I'm talking about. He was given way too long at Man United because he was someone that come through the academy and was an athlete, and the fact that he's doing well at Napoli now, I'm not surprised, because he has physicality, and in a league, in the Italian league, where it's a lot slower, it's more tactical, someone with his physicality is going to do well. Just like any physical player or any quick player should do well in Italy, because that game's not for that. That league isn't for that. So it is what it is, really. Mazraoui doesn't get any credit. I see him doing good on the pitch. Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I give him credit. I think Mazraoui is very underrated. I think in this system as a wing back, this system kills him. But I do rate him. I do rate him a lot, Mazraoui, and it's one of them things that he's probably been, in terms of value for money, he's probably been one of Man United's best ever signings in terms of value for money, because he very rarely has a bad game. I don't think I've seen him have a bad game, funny enough. So Yeah, I rate him highly, you know. And again, in the four at the back, him as the right back, you know, I think that would be a good signing for I mean a good player for United to help the youngsters as well, and even to help a new right back if United do get one coming through, you know. So I do rate him. Would you recommend we go for Mark Guehi and Jan or Summer to have another good centre back? Listen, optimism's good, but Man United not getting Mark Guehi. Guehi's gonna go to Liverpool. You know, I believe there was other clubs that were in for Guehi, but I think Guehi has given his commitment to Liverpool. So they're going to get Guehi over the line, whether that's in January. I personally think January he goes there. If you're thinking of that Leone defender they bought from Parma, he's now out for a few. He's now out for several months with ACL. So the need to go and get Guehi is even bigger. So I think they're just going to pay the money rather than get him at the end of the season on a free. And I think Palace will take the money based on that. So, yeah, I think Guehi goes to Liverpool in January, 100%. And I think they're gonna press on with that signing for me as well, you know. Yeah, listen, Mazraoui was 11 million. He was 11 million. So, and again, he wasn't someone at the top of my radar. For Man United to sign. But to think that United got him for 11 million, you know, is good business, really. It's very good business because there's many players out there in his position. You're looking at playing 40, 50 million. And to get someone that's got Champions League experience, I believe Mazraoui is, what is he, about, he might be, what, late 20s, I believe, as well. You know, his experience, where he's been, Bayern Munich, Ajax, you know, it's a good signing, man. It's a very good signing. So I think, yeah, value for money, Mazraoui has to be one of Man United's best ever signings. If not the best in terms of value for money, you know. Saki says, is Manchester red or blue? Well, I think you'll have to say right now it's blue, you know. Yeah, you'd have to say it's blue right now. But listen, I think Man United, for me, you know, they are a club that will come back because the interest in Man United is never going to die. You know, they're one of the biggest clubs in the world, if not the biggest, along with Real Madrid. So United are always going to come back. But the main thing for me, you look at that, Mazraoui is 27. Madness, yeah? 11 million for a 27-year-old. Obviously, he was different age when they bought him. But yeah, Man United, for me, will definitely come back. You know, and I think the biggest thing for me is the manager. You know, the manager is just not the right manager for where United need to be. You know, and again, I'm not going to bore you guys again and talk about the same thing with the manager because we've talked about it previously. But for me, the manager just needs to be moved on. And as I said, the fact that we're talking about Amad Diallo, you know, not thriving in this team, I think is part of the problem, because there's no doubt in my mind a new manager comes in that wants to play with the most technical players and play a progressive style of football. There's no doubt Amad's going to shine again. You know, I have no doubts about it because he's one of Man United's most talented players and he's been stifled by this manager. So, yeah, it's just annoying, man. It's annoying. But, yeah, I think we have to just, you know, keep fingers crossed that this manager will be moved on very soon. But if not, then... well, the thing is, I don't even want to think about if not, because I'm believing that this manager will be moved on. So, yeah, we'll have to just see what happens. But there's no denying that Amad's talented, man. But, yeah, he's just being hung out to dry, really, by this manager. So, it is what it is. I don't know. Football FC says there's no room for Amad with Mbeumo. But again, there is, but just not in this system. Because I keep saying this, if United play a 4-2-3-1, Amad's a 10. Amad can play as a 10. And then you got Mbeumo, who's an actual winger. You know, because Mbeumo's not even playing in his position. This is the funny thing. People might think that Mbeumo's playing in his position, but he's not. He's playing as a 10. So Mbeumo's playing out of position. Amad is. You know, Cunha, when he starts, is playing as a 9. You know, so yeah, again, there's loads of issues for me that I would like to see. Yeah, I would like to see be sorted out, really. But who knows, man? Who knows? Saki's saying, I think Mourinho's the solution. Yeah, listen. If you think Mourinho's is the solution, then what's the answer? You know? So, yeah, listen. Yeah, Mourinho's obviously got back Benfica, which probably is the right club for him at this stage of his career. There is no chance Arsenal win the Champions League, right? Why doesn't Arsenal not sack Arteta? Big up to Brex, man. Brex, listen. We've been there so many times, you know. You know why they don't sack Arteta, Arsenal? Is because what it is with Arsenal, yeah? In terms of what Arteta is to Arsenal, in terms of the, you know, he's someone that, whether people like it or not, he has got Arsenal back up and competing. Whether I don't believe they're competing for a title, but he's got Arsenal relevant, you know. So in a sense, he's ticking all the boxes for the hierarchy. But the issue is, if Arsenal fans want Arsenal to win a Champions League or a league title, Mikel Arteta is not going to do that because he hasn't got what it takes. And I said this at the start of the game when they played Man City. The very fact that he didn't start Eze showed me that he's a loser, because you're at home against Man City. Yeah, Man City are not the Man City of old, you know, even though they did beat United 3-0 comfortably, but they're not the Man City of old. So what what he would have needed to do, yeah, is start Eze in the 10 and show some intent, you know. But the fact that he didn't bother doing that just shows you why, you know, he's not going to be the man to get them over the line. You know, and I've been saying this for time, and it's not even like groundbreaking news, really. I think any serious Arsenal fan that isn't going with the whole, as Saki has said, trust the process, will know that this manager is just not going to be the one to get them over the line, unfortunately. So, yeah, listen, if Arsenal want to keep Arteta in charge, I'll be happy, because, you know, they're not winning nothing with this manager. That's a fact. You know, I've seen too much football and I've seen too much of Arsenal to know that if they just bring in a serious guy, you know, they'll get them over the line. But I think Arteta's safe at Arsenal, because to think that he's in his 7th year at Arsenal, having won one trophy, which wasn't even with his team, you know, is criminal. So it is what it is. Bruno is ahead of Amad. Cunha will be the replacement for Bruno. But again, I don't know Football FC. Bruno's not ahead of Amad because you have to look at the system, yeah? The system of this 3-4-2-1 means Amad has to play as a wing-back because Mbeumo is the big money signing. Not to forget as well, playing Amad in the 10, playing him as a left 10 is a problem when you've got two left footers that are playing as a 2-10s. But this system just doesn't suit Amad. Like, it doesn't suit many players. But Bruno isn't ahead of Amad in that sense because this manager just plays Bruno regardless. So I wouldn't say Bruno's ahead of anyone. He just plays regardless. It's like, for some reason, this team is just, for too long, is revolved around Bruno Fernandes. And you have to look at the managers in place of Ten Hag and now Amorim. So, yeah, I'm not going to say that that Bruno's ahead of Amad. You know, I think Amad needs to play in a different system, just like Kobe Manu. You know, and as I said, Man United's strongest attack for me would be Amad in the 10, Cunha from the left, Mbeumo from the right, and Joshua Zirkzee the striker. I would love to see a Man United manager come in and play those four there. You know, whether that's going to happen or not, I don't know, but it'll be good to see that. Yeah, listen, Amad in the 10, 4-2-3-1. But again, I don't want to see Bruno at this club still. The very fact that people were trying to put Bruno in the team still is part of the problem, because this guy just needs to move on. Like, I'm tired of Bruno Fernandes. I'm just tired of watching this guy at the club week in, week out. You know, I'm bored of it now. You know, he's been at the club when United have recorded their lowest ever finishes. So I'm just bored of it, man. And hopefully, as I said, hopefully when a new manager does come in, you know, Bruno Fernandes is top of the agenda to move on, because I don't want to keep seeing this guy in my team, man. It's just annoying to watch, you know. So Daniela says, I strongly believe Liverpool will win the Premier League. I think at this moment in time they're the favourites, no doubt, you know. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see, really, you know. We'll have to wait and see. Saki says, imagine if they lose to Port Vale. I mean, I've just seen their team. I think they've got Saka, Eze, and Martinelli in the front three. To be fair, they've gone with a decent team. Saliba and Mosquera are the two centre-backs. So I think they beat Port Vale, you know. I mean, if they was to get beat by Port Vale, it would be funny. But, yeah, I think they'll beat Port Vale, personally, you know. So, yeah, it is what it is. But, guys, listen up. Only a quick stream today. Obviously, I'm going to be off to the gym anyway. But, listen, big up yourselves for coming through. I'm going to be back tomorrow morning, normal time at 11:30. And we're going to do a Man United versus Brentford. So we're going to look at the potential lineup of Man United. And we're going to look at a few of the key players for Brentford as well. And this is a must-win game on Saturday. You know, early lunchtime kickoff for Man United. So, yeah, it's a must-win game. So, yeah, I'll be back tomorrow morning to discuss that. Saki says, have a nice day. Train your triceps. Really? You don't think the triceps are good enough, Saki? Nah, I'm joking, man. I actually done triceps yesterday, so I'm not even sure what I'm going to train today. Probably might do some legs or some abs or something like that. Yeah, who knows, man. But, yeah, guys, as I said, going to be back tomorrow at 11:30, definitely. And, as I said, yeah, make sure you guys come through if you're free. And let me know what you think of the potential lineup that Ruben Amorim's going to pick. Because I've got a feeling, well, no, I'll say I've got a feeling. I'm pretty confident the team he's going to play. You know, I'm pretty confident. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But, guys, make sure you smash the like button on the way out. Only 8 likes, which is poor today. So, guys, make sure you smash the like button. And big up to all the mods as well. And, again, if you're new in here, guys, make sure you sub to the channel as well. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow at 11:30. Big up yourselves.